The Rams don't even have to take the field to get a W on Sunday. Yes, only half of the hate watch was successful. We'll talk about what I'm talking about here on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Higbee. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I went over again to the YouTube statistics to see if we can go ahead and get a new screenshot, and the screenshot has not changed, but a lot more eyes have come to the channel. As last video, we got about over 10,000 views. Thank you guys for the views. We really appreciate it, but hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed at this moment, so we can continue to get you daily Rams content here on the Rams Digest. But again, like I said, a fairly successful hate watch, as the Rams at this point in time, Sunday night, are top of the division. I mean, it just feels so good, right? It feels so good. We talked about this on Thursday. A huge win versus San Francisco 49ers, essentially putting an end to the 49ers playoff hopes. Of course, technically speaking, I think they are still in the mix, but if the Rams take care of business moving forward, and you hope for a couple losses here and there, or at least, after Thursday, we were hoping for a couple losses here and there from the other teams in the division. All of a sudden, the Rams are sitting at right up top, and we'll go ahead and pull this screenshot up for you guys right here from Twitter. The Los Angeles Rams are in first place in the NFC West after starting the season 1-4. So at this moment in time, right, where we're at, sitting right here, we are first in the division. So that means, if you guys remember a few weeks ago, you take care of business versus Seattle Seahawks, which was an important game, but there still is some business to take care of. I just did want to celebrate a little bit. The Rams, Sunday Night Football, we were hate watching a little bit on the Seattle Seahawks. You never want to see a player go down, and of course, we want to hope that it's something serious for Geno Smith. I didn't see any updates, or I wasn't paying attention enough, unfortunately, to see any updates on what the severity of his injury. So I'm sorry if you guys already got the updates. But didn't want to see Geno Smith have to go down in that game. But you did want to see the Seattle Seahawks lose the game, and they were looking a little bit rough, right, even before the Geno Smith injury. But the Rams are in first. They're first in the division, and it is really an impressive comeback. A lot of people on Twitter are talking about it because it's not just exciting for the Rams fans. It's really impressive. Again, I have to keep acknowledging this. It is so impressive what Sean McVay is doing. Again, I see the hate. I see some comments about frustrations from Sean McVay, and I understand when a team is down to 1-4 at their record. And again, we talked about what we were looking at the trade deadline in terms of trading players away potentially. Yes, I get it. There's frustrations involved, but you guys have to acknowledge, we all have to acknowledge the greatness of Sean McVay. That I'm not trying to overhype him. I'm not trying to overstate it. Their last 9 games, 7 wins. It is very impressive. Shout out to Sean McVay and the rest of his Rams roster for just continuing to play through the adversity and sitting here right now, top of your division. I mean, at some point we're sitting here talking about, division, not winning the division, possibly, beating out the Washington Commanders in terms of the final wild card spot. So we are a little bit more comfortable than that right now as we're sitting atop the division. Again, here we go, another screenshot from Twitter. The beginning of the season, 4-1 for the Cardinals, 4-2 for the Niners, 3-2 for the Seattle Seahawks, and the Rams were sitting at 1-4. It just looked like the Arizona Cardinals were on fire. Maybe they were going to take over and just kind of not even leave everybody else in the dust in the NFC West. That didn't happen. And then you go ahead and look. The Rams again 1-4. You just think the Niners are going to keep playing well. You think Seattle's going to at least be in the mix, and the Rams, maybe it's over. But look at the turnaround. Impressive stuff from the Los Angeles Rams. Again, you can't overstate this stuff enough. Exciting to be sitting here atop of the division, especially on a Sunday where you didn't have to worry about the Rams going out there and losing a game, maybe making their own mistakes. We were able to relax, enjoy some football, see the Arizona Cardinals take care of their business. Still sitting at 7-7 right now, so a half game behind the Rams, but we do have a matchup, Arizona versus the Rams, coming up. So again, we're going to talk about all that stuff and all these kinds of ways that the Rams could lose their position. But that's the biggest thing. They are in a position where they have to lose it in order to let go of the first seed, that playoff spot in the division for the NFC West. Exciting, exciting stuff here for us Rams fans. Let's move on to the next screenshot I have pulled up here. I did want to point this out. I thought this was pretty funny. Someone tweeted, I guess defeating Buffalo isn't for everyone. I know some of these screenshots may be a little bit tough to see, but it is funny to see the 49ers lose to the Bills this year, the Cardinals lose to the Bills this year, the Seahawks lose to the Bills this year, even Detroit, right, a team that scored 42 points, lose to the Bills this year, as the Rams of course, took care of business last Sunday. Just a nice little, funny little tweet to see, I think, and I don't mean to pull that other screenshot up, but just a little funny tweet to see to acknowledge, hey, the Rams took care of business versus the Buffalo Bills, a very tough team to beat. Look at the Detroit Lions, a team that you think is the top of the NFL right now, at least top of the NFC, guaranteed, and then the Buffalo Bills, go ahead and take care of business, and pretty handedly, right? It was kind of a close game at the end, but it actually wasn't that close all throughout the game. So, again, the Rams playing their best football when it matters most, beating a team like the Buffalo Bills shows the league, look, Detroit couldn't even do it. They scored 42 points, and they still couldn't even beat the Buffalo Bills. It is impressive what the Rams are doing, playing their best football right now. Nobody wants to face the Rams in the playoffs. It is a too scary of a team, too experienced of a team, too well-coached of a team to be excited about playing the Rams when it comes down to the playoffs. Again, we have our concerns. The team isn't perfect. You're not 8-6 by being a perfectly great team, but they are playing good football when it matters most, and that's what matters right now for Los Angeles Rams. Let's move on to the next screenshot we have pulled up. Here we go. We have this was the NFC division probability, talking about specifically winning the division. I did have another screenshot pulled up talking about the odds of us winning. This is before the game, by the way. But the odds of the Rams winning the wild card spot, but let's not even worry about that right now at this point, right? Rams are 8-6 now. Again, with a win, you see the Seattle Seahawks. They could have jumped up to a 62% chance to make the playoffs. Now that flips. They have a 37% chance of making the playoffs after their loss versus the Packers. Looking at the Los Angeles Rams side of things, with a Seattle win, your odds of making the playoffs are 35%. With a Seattle loss, a big Seattle loss again, your odds jump up to 54% for Los Angeles Rams. Cannot overstate this enough. Successful hate watch. I'm just joking about the hate watch. But, I was watching the game heavily rooting for the Green Bay Packers, which is not an easy thing to do. But you definitely wanted to see the Packers win. Mostly we wanted the Seattle Seahawks to lose because the percentages are just that significant, significant of a change in terms of what would have happened if Seattle won the game versus if they lose the game. They do lose the game, and the Rams sitting at with a 54% chance of making the playoffs. Exciting stuff. Moving on, you look at the Rams' remaining schedule. We have a game versus the Jets coming up on Sunday. Now, the Jets are a little bit of a sneaky one, right? You see them, they have these good games all of a sudden. You're not going to be super excited about playing a Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers connection when they just put up almost 200 yards, almost 3 touchdowns in a game, right? So the Jets have talent, right? Are they ready to pack the bags? Are they ready to go out and go on vacation? Maybe, but they are still a team that you have to consider out there in New York, a cold weather game. It's not the most appealing, exciting, easy win. Let's not just chalk it up. The Rams have to go in and take care of business, but hopefully they can go in and take care of business against a team that's been playing not the best football at all this season. And then we got the Arizona Cardinals on deck, and you got the Seattle Seahawks on deck. Those records are not updated as you guys see on the screenshot I have, but again, can't stress this enough. And Sean McVay and the Rams, they know what they're doing. They're going to talk about this as well in the locker room. The Jets are nothing to sneeze at. You watched what they did. Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams just balling out today in a game they kind of didn't need to win. Of course, they're already out the playoffs, but that's the thing. They didn't need to win the game. They did not need to win. The game was their season's already over. They can pack it in. 40-plus-year-old Aaron Rodgers, Davante Adams, not really playing super well consistently this season. Maybe they're just going to pack it in, enjoy their vacation. No, they're still ready to play. They're still going to compete. So let's not just go in expecting New York is going to be a chalked up W. Rams take care of business in New York. Then we got to take care of business versus Arizona and Seattle. Again, hoping for some losses from Seattle, Arizona next week. That way you can kind of have a little bit more breathing room. But you still want to go in and take care of business yourself versus the Jets and everybody else on the remainder of your schedule. And then we can check out just to look and see what Arizona's got on deck. We have Arizona playing the Carolina Panthers. So again, not really, talking about who has a more easier path, an easy chalked up schedule. Cardinals definitely have an easier matchup in comparison to what the Rams got going. But still, both not really great teams. Panthers, Jets. Hopefully, at least the Rams take care of business, and we'll do a little light hate watching and hoping that the Panthers can take care of business for the Rams on Sunday. And then you can want to move on, and we'll switch over to the Seattle Seahawks remaining schedule. You have Vikings this Sunday. Again, we're gonna have to see what's up with Geno Smith. I apologize. I'll kind of try to on the side pull up Twitter at the same time so I can see if I get an update on what Geno Smith's injury, the severity of it is. But while I'm doing that, again, Seattle Seahawks versus the Vikings, we are kind of hoping that we can see a loss, on that side of things from the Seattle Seahawks versus the Vikings, just to, again, get that kind of breathing room, a little more breathing room in terms of that concern, right? You're going to have to play Seattle again. You're going to have to play Arizona again. If they can lose to the Panthers, they can. Arizona can. If the Seattle Seahawks can lose to the Vikings, then all of a sudden you have a little bit more space to kind of breathe and not stress about those matchups at the end of the season versus Seahawks versus Arizona Cardinals. I'm trying to pull up here. We have Geno Smith questionable return tonight with a knee injury. Scary low hit. No really updates from Ian Rappaport and those guys on Twitter. So, again, we'll have to hold and see what the update is on Smith. I'll probably take a look and see if I can check a hashtag or something to get an update. But that's where we're at, again, right now. So, looking pretty solid for the Rams. The biggest thing for the Rams is if you take care of business and you win out, there's no stress. Just in case maybe you don't win out, let's hope for a couple losses in terms of Seattle and Arizona playing these other teams they got on their remaining schedule. And last but not least, we can move on to this bit of news here. Let me just pull this back real quick. Let me make sure I pull this little clip here. Higbee returns. A quick little update on this situation here. Talking about Tyler Higbee possibly returning as Sean McVay. If you guys saw a little snippet of the quote I'm about to pull up, Sean McVay was asked, is he expecting Tyler Higbee to be active in this game on Sunday versus the New York Jets? When he was asked, are we expecting him to play? Are we expecting him to be activated for the game and participate in the game? Sean McVay simply said, I do. I do, in terms of Tyler Higbee and him returning to the Rams. Exciting stuff here for the Rams. Again, you're not getting a Travis Kelce-esque player, but you are getting another piece. Healthy again. You're getting healthier again at the right time, playing some of the best football at the right time. Tyler Higbee is a piece that can help a little bit in terms of just, another option on offense again on those third down conversions, decent in the blocking game as well. Just another piece to help this team compete and get ready for a potential deep playoff run. As of right now, Los Angeles Rams are in the playoffs. I don't know about you guys. I'm a little bit just kind of like, finally feel like I can kind of breathe a little bit in terms of the hopes that we have for this Rams team. And I actually have heard some people talking on a lot of news outlets saying, hey, who knows? In terms of experience, in terms of, talent on offense, in terms of how well teams is playing on defense, there aren't that many teams that are matching up to the Los Angeles Rams. Sean McVay, Super Bowl winning coach, Super Bowl losing coach. He has that experience on both sides. He has that experience of how to overcome adversity. The team has experience overcoming adversity, playing through hardships, playing against great quarterbacks like Josh Allen, playing against teams that all of a sudden are having this great offensive performance. Buffalo Bills, right, dropping 42 points, outscoring a team doing that, outscoring a team that's 10-2 they were at the time, right? The Rams played them, battling against great teams, and then also battling against a division rival, battling in a cold weather, rainy game. Can you grind and really fight? Every inch matters in this game. Can you fight for those inches, those yards to win the game? Can you make the complicated catches? Can you make the big plays at the right time in a close game? They did that. They've been doing that. The Rams are playing well. We are excited. Let's see what happens next week on Sunday. You guys let me know your predictions. We're going to talk about this all week long, that matchup versus the New York Jets. We're also going to talk a lot about Aaron Donald. Now, I do want to bring this up at some point this week, the reality of if he can even return. Odell Beckham, we'll see if we're getting updates this week. I know a lot of comments saying they don't want him. Talented player that maybe he can at least be a piece on the bench, maybe at least giving some leadership. Who knows? We'll talk about all that later on in the week. And that's going to do it for me in today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron, and I am out.